Hi, my name is Barney and welcome to another video. Since the launch of Ryzen CPUs, we keep hearing how much memory speeds affect our CPU's performance. So today I'm here to check out how much does it affect us regular people who don't have high-end stuff. I'm gonna test 3 different DDR speeds including 2133, 2667 and 3200 MHz. My test system is gonna be the Ryzen 7 1700 with a 6GB 1060. Also 16 gigs of DDR4. For testing, I've selected a couple of free to download CPU benchmark programs, and for games, I've chosen 7 games which are kind of popular or more demanding. Let's jump into the benchmarks. The first program tested is 7-Zip File Manager, which is a file compression and decompression software. Using the built-in benchmark, we can see that decompression is not really affected by the RAM speeds, but when we look at the compression numbers, we can reveal that the 2133 is 7% slower than the 3200. At next, we have everyone's favorite Cinebench R15, where the results line up accordingly to the RAM speeds tested, revealing a 25 points or a 1.6% difference between the 3 RAM speeds tested. We can see very similar results in Corona benchmark as well, where we can see a 6-second difference between the different RAM speeds, which also translates to a roughly 4% performance difference between the 3 RAM speeds tested. Next, we have the V-Ray benchmark, where we can see that the slower RAM speeds, they perform practically identical, leaving themselves 6% behind the DDR4 3200. Let's jump on some gaming stuff. First on our alphabetical list is Ashes of the Singularity on standard settings. While there is no real difference between the 3200 and the 2667, we can see that the 2133 falls at least 7% behind of the first two. Next on our list is the Gaming Miracle Fortnite on competitive settings, which means everything is turned down to low or very low, but the viewing distance was left on the highest. To keep the testing as close as possible, I've tested one replay across all 3 RAM speeds. And as we can see, all the results line up according to the RAM speeds. And as we can see, 2667 was 5% slower than 3200, but the 2133 really struggled, losing almost 30 FPS and a whopping 15% of performance. Jumping into GTA 5 using the built-in benchmark, we can see that 3200 and 2667 performed practically identical, while the 2133 fell 5% behind again. The next game on the line is the newcomer Overwatch. With all the settings turned up to epic, the results were taken from a bot match, where we can see that the 3200 and the 2667 practically finish identically, leaving 2133 5% and 5 FPS behind. The next game on our list is PUBG on competitive settings again, leaving the drawing distance on ultra but everything else on the very low. We can see once again 3200 and 2667 to practically perform identically, while 2133 drops 20% of the performance, which is a whopping 27 FPS on average. And this is the highest performance loss that we have seen up till now. The next game on the list is Rocket League on the maximum settings, where we can see 7 FPS difference between the 3 RAM speeds, which translates to roughly about 4% performance loss. And last but not least, Rise of the Tomb Raider on a high settings, we can see there is practically no difference between the 3 RAM speeds. After all the testing was done, what's the takeaway for today? There is practically a 3 to 5% difference between 2133 and 3200, and 2667 roughly plays the same as 3200 would go, unless you're playing Fortnite and PUBG, in which cases I would only suggest to go for the fastest run possible. But for general usage, I would stick to the 2667, as there is little to no difference between that one and the 3200. So I would recommend 2667 unless you get a very good deal on the faster RAM speeds. So we have made it to the end of the video. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do it here. If you want to watch another video, you can do it here. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Barney and see you all in the next one.